Okay, so today is July the 2nd, Saturday is 3:46 p.m. and America is trying to perform a KKK ritual on me inside of the Galleria Mall in Houston, Texas. This morning, God let me know what it was they trying to do. Anyway, got this Hispanic male over here walking up on me. They got everybody in the mall over here trying to do a damn ritual. So I was like, let's just go ahead and do some history um, of what's going on. So as y'all can see, all of these white only signs. I shot Austin Metter, a white male that was attacking me, and I'm pregnant. And God was like, I wasn't guilty. I'm out on the charges. They took my little boy, saying that they were gang raping my child to death with his mother, Cynthia Olvera, and Joseph Olvera. And they not really trying to run up on me. They trying to just be slick about bothering me and then trying to make me snap on them so they could try to have the police come in and kill my baby and me. I'm going to show you all the establishments trying to help the KKK save me and my baby that I'm carrying up to be killed and cover up that Cynthia Olvera said she was raping my child. So as you can see, America is very racist. The Eastern Stars, the Order of Eastern Stars, the black and white chapters, the black Freemasons, the Masonic white chapters, Hollywood, everybody in Hollywood, the United States military, all forces. The city of Conroe has been trying to set me up to be murdered. The city of Channelview, they had my little sister trying to set me up to be killed with KKK members and black Freemasons in Channelview, Texas. Walmart has tried to set me up to be murdered with their security staff. Plenty of Fish has had black males contacting me trying to set me up to be killed. The entire city of Houston, Texas. The city of Humble, Texas has my mom's ex-girlfriend and my sister trying to set me up to be murdered. The city of Houston, Texas, of course, like the police department in Chambers County, Anahuac, Texas, they've been trying to set me up to be murdered since I was released on the charges. Different businesses like Dollar General establishments, Tampered Food. They had a white girl named Tess trying to set me up to be murdered out of the Grove on Glassdale. A black girl named Jatavia, her boyfriend Q with gangs. They tried to set me up out of the Motel 6 in Conroe, Texas with black males and police. They tried to set me up to be murdered by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I was working for Pizza Hut and they did not give me my money, trying to set me up to be killed with no money outside with gangs and the KKK. McDonald's establishments have tried to set me up to be murdered several times. Five Oaks Apartments tried to set me up to be killed out of an apartment with a male with criminal charges. Hotel Bella tried to set me up to be murdered. Those are my bags. Those are my bags. And these establishments tried to set me up to be killed. Burger King, Family Dollar. This neighborhood by the Galleria, the Cosmopolitan, the Star of Hope shelters are trying to set me up to be murdered. The Houston Women's Center, Whataburger, Tampered Food, messing with my accounts, my PayPal accounts, having women following me that are witches into Dollar Tree trying to starve my pregnancy, Walgreens trying to murder me out of the location, Planet Fitness, black males and KKK members, black women, white women trying to set me up to be murdered around that location. Little Rock police tried to set me up to be murdered outside. The Salvation Army tried to set us up to be murdered out of the shelter. MARTA tried to set us up to be murdered all over the transportation system. Atlanta police tried to set us up to be murdered. Venmo, they shut down my Venmo account trying to stop me from having money and receiving donations. Of course, this is the Walgreens location that they tried to set me up to be murdered out of recently. Starbucks location, letting them do gang stuff to try to cover up Cynthia saying she was raping my child. HCA Hospital lied about my pregnancy and is trying to have me killed by police, KKK members, and gang members. Expectation Studio lied about my ultrasound and is trying to set me up to be a KKK ritual pregnant in America, trying to kill my baby and me. Conroe Human Resources officers cut off my food stamps when I was released, trying to starve me. And then they had black males try to set me up to be murdered at 2123 Eagle Ferry Road in Anahuac with whites. And Chambers County Courthouse were dropping charges for criminals to try to set me up to be murdered in Chambers County. And they had drug charges and warrants. They were dropping charges and warrants for these black males to try to set me up to be murdered. These hospitals lied about my pregnancy and tried to set me up to be killed. And they're involved with trying to set me up to be a KKK ritual. Of course, with the woman Tess and my friend Jatavia, all of these people knew me back in Conroe when Austin was released from prison, attacking me, and they tried to set me up to be murdered out of a motel. Then a man named Colin tried to set me up to be murdered out of Jersey Village around Steeplechase Apartments, starving me and putting me outside for KKK and gangs. I believe it was 9001 Jones Road, and he tried to fight me. Trying to kill my baby with gang members and KKK members. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice is riding around trying to set me up to be murdered. This is where they had a black male named Antonio Dean with robbery charges, drug charges, or whatever, dropping warrants for him to try to set me up to be killed out of his sister's home in Five Oaks apartment. He had just been released for robbery, and he had warrants. And then he brought me to this hotel, and he started sex trafficking me and trying to set me up to be killed with gangs and Houston police. I fled from him, and they continued to try to set me up to be murdered out of Hotel Bella, where I was staying by myself trying to get on my feet, and tried to set me up to be murdered out of Chisholm Trail Apartments with James Devon Harris. And they tried to set me up to be murdered in Tomball in Clear Lake City with black males trying to set me up to be killed with the Texas police. And they were trying to traffic me all around Texas and starve my baby in Baytown, Texas. Tried to have a black male named Cullen try to set me up to be killed in Baytown. They had City Trends doing operations trying to set me up to be murdered in Greater Greenspoint area. And they were trying to set me up to be murdered over the entire city of Greenspoint with black males and the Houston Police Department. They were leaving me outside. They had helicopters flying over me. They continuing to have helicopters flying over me, and had the Metro system trying to set me up to be murdered. They're still having Metro drivers dropping off gang members and KKK members to try to set me up to be killed around Wells Fargo in the Galleria area, Frost Bank, Whole Foods area, Tri-Shield Services and Investigations at Whole Foods location is trying to set me up to be murdered. This stems back to Greenspoint and the Texas Department of Services. They had strip clubs and pimps trying to set me up to be murdered as well, out of motels and hotels all over Texas and Spring, Texas as well. They are trying to set me up to be murdered with the Harris County Police Department and the Houston Central Jail, using criminals and police to try to set me up to be murdered. So the Harris County Criminal Justice Center is involved, riding around with gangs. The Houston Municipal Court is involved, getting criminals to try to set me up to be murdered with firefighters. So the Houston Fire Department is involved. They did the same thing in Conroe with firefighters trying to set me up to be murdered. EMS drivers are also driving around, driving ambulances, trying to set me up to be killed. They tried to set me up to be murdered with James Devon Harris. And the Wilcox and the city of Katy, Texas also tried to set me up to be murdered. Kings Row Apartments in Houston, Texas had black males trying to murder me out of the apartments. In Sunnyside, LaMarcus Sanders was trying to set me up to be murdered with Lily Morris, Bianca Hudson, and Charles Cross. They were gang members. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, is also trying to set me up to be killed with child. They tried to murder me out of Houston parks and recreation centers. They tried to murder me out of Willowbrook Mall. They also tried to murder me out of Fifth Ward with a male named Henry Jerome Brown, trying to set me up as a satanic death ritual, using Denver Harbor Transit System and Houston Police to try to set me up to be murdered. This is when I started I had a social media channel for a couple of months. They tried to murder me out of St. Maria Hospital, Bentop Hospital, denying my pregnancy, denying an ultrasound. Greyhound Services tried to set me up to be murdered when I went to Atlanta. The news stations are trying to set me up to be killed all over the country. The state of Arkansas tried to set me up to be killed when I went to Arkansas, trying to go to my Aunt Barbara Thomas's house. The citizens of Little Rock tried to set me up to be murdered. The state of Illinois is trying to set me up to be murdered in Chicago with my cousin Kiana Wiley and my grandmother Irma Marshall. The state of Georgia is trying to set me up to be murdered with my family there. The city of Atlanta, Georgia tried to set me up to be murdered. I have a sister named Larissa that's there. This is the apartment where my friend is here in Texas, and she's allowing the KKK to try to set me up to be killed. My family was allowing them to try to set me up to be killed in Atlanta. Larissa Jones and Andrew Jones and Shanara Collins. They tried to murder me out of the West End Mall with gangs. They tried to murder me out of Greenbrier Mall with gangs. They tried to murder me from Lakewood, Fort McPherson. They tried to murder me from Peachtree train station with gang members and police officers, people that work for MARTA. They tried to set me up to be murdered at 5 Points train station. I was posting everything on my channels, trying to have me murdered on MARTA property at the West End as well. Old 4th Ward in Atlanta, Georgia, they had black males lure me to that location, trying to rape me and set me up to be killed. They tried to set me up to be killed around these Georgia colleges. Georgia State University, Clarkston, Spelman, Morehouse. The blacks were riding around trying to set me up to be killed with KKK members, and these are historical black colleges. They tried to set me up to be murdered out of Luther Landon Apartments in Atlanta, Georgia, with a black male named Marcus Eugene Mitchell for the Satanic Church, for the blacks that are worshiping white people here in the country. All of these broadcasting companies are involved with trying to set me up to be a KKK ritual for white Americans. Donald Trump's administration is behind the murder, lied about my pregnancy, and lied about Cynthia Vera taking my child, saying she was raping him. And now they have Black Lives Matter involved with trying to set me up to be killed. They tried to set me up as a prostitute inside of the Super Inn on Industrial Boulevard, and they tried to set me up from Westlake train station in Jonesboro, Georgia. They tried to set me up as a prostitute out of these areas, having black males trafficking me there who had criminal charges, to in-town suites where they were trying to rape me and kill my baby in my stomach by raping me until the baby was dead and it's alive. They have people at nail shops, Chinese people where I used to get my nails done, involved with denying me services and trying to set me up to be killed. They have hotels, the Ascendant Peachtree, the Stop and Shop, convenience stores, the Atlanta mayor's office. Keisha Lance Bottoms was involved with trying to set me up to be murdered with the Atlanta City Hall. The Houston mayor's office with Sylvester Turner is trying to set me up to be murdered right now as a KKK ritual here in Houston, Texas. The Grady Health System in Atlanta, Georgia was trying to set me up to be murdered pregnant in Atlanta, Georgia. And Stone Mountain, Georgia, the city of Stone Mountain, tried to set me up to be murdered with the Clarkston police. The Clarkston police tried to set me up to be murdered with the United States government. They tried to set me up to be murdered with police out of Hartsfield International Airport. They tried to set me up to be murdered with black Freemasons at the Economy Inn in Marietta, and with black males starving me at the Economy Hotel in Glenwood. And my father, Andrew Jones, had something to do with it. They were raping me from the Hilton, trying to murder me out of the Clarkston Library for typing up the evidence about my pregnancy and my child. They tried to murder me out of Aldine Branch Library, and they tried to shut down this library and stop me from going and charging my phone and doing any more evidence. They tried to murder me from Kensington Station. They tried to murder me from Indian Creek Station. They tried to murder me from Quality Control Music, using band member Offset to try to have gang starve my pregnancy. T.I. is also aware from Grand Hustle Gang and allowing the KKK to try to set me up as a ritual. Rockefeller owner Jay-Z is trying to allow them to set me up as a KKK ritual in America, pregnant and starved. And Sony Entertainment, that houses Beyonce Knowles, is also involved with setting me up to be murdered. Atlantic Records, there are different artists on these records. I'm not exactly sure, but all of these artists are involved with setting me up to be killed. They tried to murder me out of Whole Foods. They tried to murder me out of CVS. They tried to murder me out of Walmart establishments, several different Walmart locations in the Woodlands and Houston. They tried to murder me out of all of these Starbucks locations that surround the Galleria Mall, out of the HEB. Just recently, they had black males try to push carts into my stomach by the Galleria. They're all doing a KKK ritual. They're coming out of the JW Marriott Hotel and the Hilton Hotel, trying to set me and my baby that I'm carrying up to be killed. It's a $173 million lawsuit. They tried to set me up to be murdered out of Lenox Mall. The Texas football teams are involved with trying to set me up to be killed for Austin John Metter, who was attacking me pregnant in my home and attacking my 22-month-old child, and took my 22-month-old little boy, saying they were raping him, saying that they would keep him in the location to keep raping him with Cynthia O'Vera. James Harden is trying to set me up to be murdered. LeBron James is allowing them to set me up to be murdered as a KKK ritual. And all of the black males who are working for these systems, they're worshiping white people, is what God said. All right, so my phone ended up dying on me. Well, it didn't die, it's on 4%, so I wouldn't have been able to make it and let it charge and load the video that I was loading. It's an hour video explaining the death ritual that they're trying to do on me right now inside of the mall and all over the United States. So I'm back inside of the mall. I'm over here by Sex, and I'm about to plug my phone up and just work on some more videos, chill and keep my cool, because God already showed me I'm going to have a victory over all these black people in the country that's trying to say me up to be killed for these white people. So I'm gonna just, instead of staying out there and panicking and trying to wait for the full video to load and letting my phone die, I'm back inside of the mall. And they got a black male and a white male sitting over here. So they got them staged everywhere, so that I can't have privacy and record my videos and plug up my phone. So this operation that they doing, because the black people are over here worshiping the white people in the country. So now I'm walking around with my phone on 4%, trying to find somewhere to load, to charge my phone. They do this ritual all the time where they kill the blacks. So now I'm outside of the parking deck. I just walked outside to the parking deck to try to find somewhere by myself where I can do the rest of my videos without them trying to have people trying to set me up to be killed sitting right there in my damn face. My phone is on 3%, so I'm about to have to chill for a minute. I wanted to read this. It says, evil plans of our white enemies. They're out here worshiping white people, and it is so bad that for them to be willing to try to cover up white people raping a child with them. I'm trying to find a way to convey this to my viewers, anybody that can help me, while the mall is full of black women and black males that are trying to set me up to be murdered, saying that they're worshiping white people. They said they were raping and mutilating my child, and have all of these blacks in America trying to say that I'm lying and that Cynthia has custody of my child, and they're running around with KKK members and smiling, and this is what Kamala is letting them do. I don't really know Kamala Harris' standpoint on everything, but I was able to find this picture, and it says, "I bow down to whites only." And this is how all of the women that's in there are acting, like they bowing down to white people, all the black women, and it is ridiculous. It is sick. And this is how all of the black women inside the mall are over here acting, talking about they love the KKK. Basically, she's sitting over here walking and eating. They eating and acting like they are slaves over here and trying to hide it. So they want to commit murders with white people and worship them, but then they want to go and do Black Lives Matter movement and collect money after they done set a black person up to be murdered. Then they try to get their family to come out the woodwork to act like, oh, we want some money for that person. No, you're not getting no money for me setting me up to be killed with no KKK, leaving me on social media asking for help, and then God saying that my cousins is white people lovers, that they allowing white people to set me up to be murdered. So they got the hotel security coming all over here in the parking lot. And some Hispanics, it done been black gangs coming out. It's a Hispanic female and a Hispanic male, and they just drove into the parking deck. It's hundreds of cars in the parking deck, and I'm just sitting, standing, and waiting. It's like a little area where you can walk over here and stand, but it's no smoking. And they over here trying to spy on me for the KKK. And I just got done making the video, so I don't want them over here trying to set me up to be murdered before I can get my video released. And they got another male pulling up behind them that's Hispanic, and they over here trying to plot to have me killed while I'm standing here trying to charge up my cell phone, and they need to get the hell away from me. So for my sister Shakina to try to do that to me, I don't forgive you. For my sister Larissa Jones to try to do this to me in Atlanta, Georgia, with the KKK, I do not forgive you. For my stepsister Shanara Collins to try to do this to me and my baby I'm pregnant with the KKK, I do not forgive you. For my dad Andrew Jones to try to do this to me with the KKK, I do not forgive you. For my cousin Kiana Wiley to try to do this to me with the KKK, I do not forgive forgive you. For my cousin Irma Marshall to try to do it to me with the KKK, I do not forgive you. For my grandmother Irma Marshall to try to do it with the KKK, I don't forgive you. So let me see if I need to. He's acting like he's throwing away a water bottle. They trying to find ways to just come around me and try to be intimidating. He's a Asian officer. So God said that they are trying to do a KKK ritual. He told me that this morning. So they deeper than they normally are. The whole damn mall is packed like a football stadium. How they like to go to their games, their little popular games. Hell, it's more packed than that. They all in there trying to kill one black woman, pregnant black woman, and the lawsuit is 173 million. So imagine how I feel with a baby in my body that God is saying is worth 173 million dollars, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm in danger of these black males walking around me wanting to kill my child, and me, and these black women walking around me wanting to kill my child, and me with racist white people. And my family, is just sitting back, allowing the country to do this. So the Hispanic officers and the Asian officers, they just pulled off and went around me. But I'm just standing for my safety because I want people to know that they came and they moved around. Do not try to do anything to me and this child that I'm carrying. Do not try it. For all of the black women in Houston, stop trying to kill my baby with the KKK. I'm not playing. To all the black males, Hispanic males, Asian females, Hispanic females, Indian, Arab, whatever your ethnicity, wherever you come from, whatever your bloodline, white, black, it doesn't matter. Stop trying to kill my baby and me. And Cynthia Olvera, I'm not allowed to speak to her, but somebody needs to speak with her about trying to have KKK members kill my baby and me by Austin Metter, and have her admit the length of time that they have been trying to kill the child, because the lawsuit wouldn't be that much if they hadn't been trying to kill it. I'm inside of Nordstrom in the Galleria Mall, and I've been up here for a couple of hours, charging my cell phone. I left from the parking lot area because I said I'm pregnant and I need to sit down and charge this phone. My phone was only on 2%. So I came up here to the lounge in the women's bathroom and sat down, started charging my phone. And I was looking at some comments after a while, and this person was trying to say what was wrong with her lipstick. Now, I told y'all that they have them trying to stage for me to not be able to go into the ladies' room anywhere to freshen up or do my makeup, which leaves me to go into this clip. I started coming up to the Galleria Mall and working on the case. And at first, everything was fine. I would come inside and I would go into the Saks. I would go in the restroom and just use the restroom. And then I would do my makeup or something every once in a while. And they started watching my channel and staging to have employees as well as gang members, KKK members coming into the restroom with me, spying on me inside of the restroom, to try to basically ruin my image online on social media. They did this inside of different locations in the area, like the Whole Foods and the Walgreens, CVS, trying to stage to where I'm dirty without makeup on social media, trying to say I need meds because they said they raped my child and trying to do a ritual. There was a video that I made in Neiman Marcus where she tried to call the police because an African American woman was trying to be fake with me. And I said, please do not speak to me because all of you African American women know who I am, but y'all let this white woman, Cynthia Olvera, get my child, saying that she was raping my child, and y'all are trying to set me up to be murdered with the KKK. So please do not speak to me. And they tried to call the police on me, and I said, no, you don't try to set me up to be murdered with the Ku Klux Klan. And they said that they were raping my child. So this was a location where the staff inside of the Neiman Marcus are racist. Here in the Galleria Mall, all of the stores are trying to do a blood ritual on me right now, which is why I'm sitting inside of the restroom, in the ladies' lounge, and not in the normal areas where I frequent when I'm here.
because they're packed like a stadium trying to set me up to be killed because Cynthia said that she was raping my child and because I'm pregnant. So the Nordstrom is where I am right now. And like I said, everything was fine. When I first came up here, there was some tension because they had already been doing the operation in other locations. So when they saw that, I got smart. Like, hey, Nordstrom has 2 levels of bathrooms and a private restroom to where no one can say that I'm in their way for just going in the ladies' room for a few minutes. To keep myself up and make myself presentable. I'm not in anybody's way. And they started doing operations to come and bang on the door or have a janitor say they needed to clean the restroom. They continued to do it every time I would come inside of the store to the point where I don't even care. But I wanted to let you guys know that it's for a KKK ritual.